The theme of today is collaboration. It's sharing best practice.
There's no one right way of doing this, and teachers are so creative in developing their own approaches that will work.
IAPS's mission is to be a force for good in education, and that's what this day is all about.
What's different about today is that there are so many different schools here who've all been working along the same lines but with a very different approach to it, and so it's going to be really interesting to find out exactly what other schools have been doing.
Strategies that I know are working for other schools so that they can be adapted to fit my own school setting.
IAPS represents over 670 schools worldwide, and we have some of the finest prep schools in the world, and today we're seeing why the schools that are represented here are showing such fantastic, inspirational, collaborative work, which is best practice, and an opportunity, a platform here to share with delegates is a remarkable day.
So Maltman's mindset, the whole idea of Maltman's mindset is to empower the whole school community to work together, giving girls, our pupils, those skills that they'll need as they grow up in the world in the next 50 years. We think that's made them more robust in their learning, and certainly it's beginning to accelerate their progress in many different subjects.
Parents have obviously been important as well. Their criticism has been nil, which is very unusual, I think we would all agree, in the academic environment that we're working in. On 11 Plus Results Day, one parent said to me, "The Maltman's mindset stuff must have worked, Mr. Hammond." At one cheese and wine evening, a parent of a nursery girl said to me, rather confused, "Mr. Hammond, my daughter's been telling me all about collaboration. Can you tell me a bit more about this system?" One prospective parent we had even told our headmistress that it was the reason that they were going to choose the school above perhaps a local competitor. So it's obviously really, really valuable.
We then talked about independence, which is fundamental for success, as it is extremely important to be able to handle things on your own. If you rely on others, you won't get far in life. Being independent is also a big boost to your confidence, as it increases your sense of happiness when you finish a task, as you know you've achieved it on your own.
You know your school is good. You know the pupils are happy and thriving. You understand what you're about, but will that come across to the inspectors? Will they see what you see? I was nervous in 2014, not because people would be observing my lessons or looking at my children's books, but because I'd spent the last 3 years transforming the curriculum, introducing thinking skills into the timetable and making the development of character a central part of what we were about. I could see the differences we've made in the school, but would they be able to? Well, as it turns out, I didn't need to worry. This is what they said. They could see the difference.
Embedding P4C has ensured that our children are not passive recipients who are simply being spoon-fed with facts and information. By engaging in dialogue, prompted by questions such as these, they learn to grapple with numerous possibilities and concepts that they had never even considered before. In the early days, displays of thought bubbles and the children's jottings in their thinking diaries provided us with some concrete information, but we needed some way of tracking the development of our pupils, and particularly their individual journeys. We created questions to help children pinpoint their improvement. The children were gaining the tools, language and understanding to be able to identify skills and traits that would have an effect on developing their character. The learning habits and thinking skills were now guiding the children to help set achievable targets.
I love teaching, but I consider it a privilege to be in a position to help children develop character. By bringing thinking skills, P4C and the learning habits into our curriculum, we've been able to bring about real change. Helping our pupils take control of their development as learners has shown them that they can do something about the person they are. It's given them the tools to make a real and permanent difference to how they feel about themselves as learners and as individuals.
What we're really interested in is the holistic education. So the academics are very important, they are, and we've got to get that right. But I don't believe you get the academics right if you don't get the character right as well. So learning dispositions for us, when Jane came and did the training for us a few years ago, it just resonated with everything we already believed. But she gave us a practical framework so that we could move forward with that.
But if we're going to say it's part of our lesson planning and it's part of the learning objectives, then we feel that the children need to evaluate how they've done on that process as well. So this is a reception class. How did I do today? Did I work well with others? And the children were to put their photograph on either the green smiley face, yes, I've done well today, or the yellow one that says, I'm getting there, or the red one that says, I need help. And every time I look at this photo, I worry about AJ, who seems to be beyond help over on the right-hand side. But I'm told AJ wasn't there that day, so that makes it okay.
I find the emphasis on the values and dispositions, it's something we haven't done in my school before, but it's something that is so unbelievably human. It's essential to growing, not just to success as a learner or as a student, to success as a person. For me, things like resilience and perseverance have struck the biggest chord, I would say.
It's a can-do attitude. We've heard a lot today about growth mindset, but it's all about how do we use our resources better, how do we understand our children better, how can we help them, prepare them for the world that they're going to be entering past prep school into their adult life.
We have refined our focus to 14 virtues. These are displayed visually in our hall on a rainbow, with each virtue represented as a bird that moves across the rainbow. This is a great visual tool that the children are proud of, and it enables us to monitor the progress of each virtue within the school.
So all of these words, I'm sure most of you have heard of most of these things. They're the buzzwords, the words that we constantly are hearing. And for me, these things form part of my teacher's toolkit. And I believe passionately that that's what our teachers need. They need a toolkit. Our intellectual character journey started around about 2010. We achieved the NACE Challenge Award in 2013, and in 2015, 6 years to the day, was our second inspection, and we were given excellent in every category across the board.
Well, we've been using a series of learning habits for the last 2 years, and we're finding it's making a huge difference. So the girls are using the terms freely and naturally, and actually really understanding what they mean. And we're seeing a lot more resilience and risk-taking, and the girls are really engaging with their subject learning at a much deeper level because they can use these skills in their learning.
I felt my daughter, this is the parents' response, I felt my daughter approached every difficult topic with a more positive outlook. She had the enthusiasm to give it a go rather than putting it off. We've been very impressed with this initiative, so much that we've put up the words around our home to encourage all the children to take note.
In history, a video conference link with the National Archives is a perfect example of the need to develop flexibility of mind when evaluating sources. And in a junior school science competition, girls were challenged to plan, demonstrate, and evaluate their own experiment, which involved a number of learning habits, such as curiosity, resilience, and persistence.
I was listening to the midweek programme on Radio 4 a couple of weeks ago, and appearing on it was TV presenter and naturalist Chris Packham. When asked, what is the one human characteristic you admire most, straight away he stated curiosity, needing to know more about everything. He said that the enduring urge to know more is what makes him set his alarm clock every day. So, can we help children to become more curious? I think so. As part of their work on Anglo-Saxons, our Year 4 teachers recreate the burial site of Sutton Hoo. The children become archaeologists and have to uncover the history and mystery of what lies beneath the mounds of earth. Our Year 6 scientists have to put their forensic science skills to good use to try and solve the mystery of the missing Ming vase. How do you think that works? Why do you suppose that happened? What do you think would happen if? All of these are questions that we try to make a regular part of our discussions with our children.
But unfortunately, I switched my iPad off, which was really unfortunate because what then happened was actually, for me, more interesting than what Sophie had just done. The girls in my class, not prompted by me at all, started to have a conversation, and they said, gosh, I wonder which disposition that is. You know, what certificate is she going to get? In the assembly, what is it going to be? And somebody said, oh, it's definitely initiative. I think it's initiative. And then somebody said, oh, no, it's risk-taking. It could have gone wrong, and she would have failed. And somebody said, no, it's persistence. I mean, she must have just persisted the whole of half term to learn those cards. And somebody said, but she's definitely curious. And another said, but she must be so ambitious to want to be able to do that. And then one of the girls stopped and said, actually, I think it's all 20 dispositions that we know and use at Wimbledon High School. It just encompasses all of those.
We've had weeks such as Failure Week, Blow Your Own Trumpet Week, 4G, Great Girls Get Gritty, Resilience Week, and Fail Better Week, which run across the whole school, 4 to 18. This really just promotes what we're about. But just like any initiative or project or change that you bring into a school, it's important to measure the impact. Has it been worthwhile? The video you've already seen shows that our girls in the junior school embody and enjoy the dispositions. But does it have any long-term effect?
And we're doing this because we believe we're in a rather unusual win-win situation. We think that by giving a bit more attention to these sorts of things, so by making learning itself the object of discussion, and conversation, and focus and exploration, we not only prepare young people for the future, but we also, as I said earlier, give them precisely the qualities that they need to engage more intelligently and deeply with their learning now.